Once Human just got a ton of brand new info. We'll go over some new server openings as well as some developer updates. I'm also going to cover some things that are happening in Prism Clash and even my own takes there. We'll cover some additional details with Prism Clash as well as some things the game doesn't tell you. And of course we'll also go over those few last minute mentionables. We got a ton to talk about. What's up world, it's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. We'll get into the developer updates, some of the new server stuff, and the patch notes. So first up here, we did get some brand new patch notes for September 28th. Most of these are just bug fixes for some different player issues as well as materials. However, there is some important stuff here that you should know about. So the first major detail here, after you sign up for a new scenario and enter it, the mail in your current mailbox will be deleted. So if you got any mail on the previous server before you sign up for the next scenario/server, you should take out all of your mail. I obviously said make sure you don't miss any unclaimed compensation and rewards when this happens. You will now automatically claim all the mail from your previous scenario. Seems like that was updated with September 28th. However, if you did sign up prior to that, you did probably lose out on some compensation or anything that was in your mailbox. The items included in your mail will rotate accordingly to the seasonal item rotation rules. And of course, they said for more details, please see the seasonal carryover mechanic description in the game. However, they do list over some rules here. For the items that can be carried over across seasons, you'll again have those automatically claimed for you in your current character. For items that can be rotated to Eternal Land, those will then be rotated or essentially carried over to your Eternal Land depot as you enter that new scenario. So essentially, you won't really lose it, but you kind of will because you won't be able to carry it over unless you do spend those transfer points. For items that cannot be carried across the seasons, including the ones that cannot be transferred from Eternal Land to your seasonal character, those will be completely discarded. So you will actually lose those items if you have unclaimed items that cannot be carried over in either two methods. Now, the next one here is a major one, as some players have been losing their deviations. Now they say here, if you accidentally forgot your deviations and left them in the secure unit in your friend's territory when you sign up for a new scenario, those deviations will return to your space-time backpack when your friend leaves their current scenario or when they demolish their secure unit. If you encounter any difficulties, they said please feel free to reach to them via the feedback platform or their customer support. Now I've been told, because I've dealt with a major bug myself, which I will go over right after this. However, I've been told that contacting customer support through in-game is much better than doing it out of game. There's a little icon at the top. You click that, go into that, and you can actually talk to a human or actually ask for a human. That way, that is probably the best method of getting a hold of somebody and actually having it work. As the out-of-game method and through the chat bot and through the Discord bot, it seems somewhat helpful, but it's mostly just for bug reporting. I've always recommended to take out all of your deviations, have them all in your backpack. That way, when you do transfer to a new scenario and server, there's no complications there. But it does seem like certain people that have had it in their friends' territory or things like that, it's kind of gotten some mixed up there. Hopefully that does help. Again, I would take them all out, including out of your friends' territories. If you have some sort of mass hive set up there, just take them out before you sign up. That way they're ready to go. Jumping over, since I just talked about the bug thing and those bugs here, I actually had a major game-breaking bug. So the reason my videos have been a little bit late here, or I've been trying to do some lot of catch-up work, especially with the Prism versus Clash, I literally could not select a faction. So no matter what I did, what dialogue choices I did, talking back with some of the NPCs, I could not select a faction. It would not give me the prompt no matter how many times I tried. This happened to me for 2 whole days. I gave it 2 days to fix. It never got fixed no matter what I did with my internet. I thought maybe there was some lag there. Nothing could fix this except when I actually tried to do something. So I do have steps for you to fix this bug as I did it myself. If you do encounter this bug, hit level 2 using or boiling water. Seems like the fastest method there that you can do in that starter zone, as there's nothing to down or do anything there. Once you hit level 2, you can then open up your menu panel and hit the hive button. Once you head to the hive button and click on create a hive or join a hive, that will then give you the prompt, as it will tell you something like essentially that you can't join a hive until you're in a faction. So if you do not get the prompt, if you have this major game breaking bug where you literally cannot play the game, that's how to fix it. Hopefully that does help some of you who have encountered the bug. I've only seen one post over on the Discord for Once Human, but since it was such a major game-breaking bug for me, that is how you fix it. I've already submitted the bug report in-game and out-of-game on the Discord, so hopefully they do fix that sometime soon. Speaking of Prism versus Clash, we do have some stuff that's not detailed to you or hasn't been told to you through patch notes or any other medium. However, Once Human Twitter did put this out, so you might have missed it. Well, they do actually break down which deviations will give you Prism energy and how much. So So as they showcase here, these are the Prism deviations that will give you 10 energy based on level. As they say here, those can be found in fishing and contest areas, gathering in contest areas, as well as the public crisis events that are also in, again, contest areas. A few of those, Electric Eel, the Digby Boy, Logging Beaver, there's also a few others here. And then the ones that are going to be in the newer phases, so Phase 2 and Phase 3, that's the Berserkerus Rex and the Radiant One. Those can only be obtained through the public crisis events, which will give you 200 Prism energy and 400 Prism energy respectively. So a nice little breakdown there if you didn't know which ones give you 10, which are going to give you 200 and 400. As you see right now, it's really going to pick up depending on how your faction is doing. Speaking of deviations, a lot of people have been wondering, can you get the shiny deviations on the Prism versus Clash scenarios? It seems right now that you cannot because these are considered normal servers. So these are not in the hard mode category, and so you will not be able to get shiny deviations. So if you've already transferred, or if you haven't transferred yet, you should try to farm those on your current scenario. Again, especially if you are on a non-novice server and on a hard server. There's this little article here on how to get all the shiny deviations I'm going to include down below. However, again, I will preface that so far, it seems like you cannot get any shiny deviations. I think maybe other than a prismatic eel or something like that I've heard of. Again, I've been doing a ton of catch-up work with Prism vs. Clash as I was down 2 days. And I couldn't sign up for a new scenario for a day and a half, seeing as my server was behind there. So I will get more information to you guys on which are going to be there and what we'll see there with that. But yeah, so far, most of, if not all, shiny deviations are not present on the Prism vs. Clash. Moving on though, and as per usual, we do have another Fair Play announcement. They've done a ton of new bans. Again, they said they're going to be monitoring 24/7, and they've done a pretty good job with this. Their highest priority is fixing bugs and enhancing that game security. So they've done a ton of new bannings, and they're probably going to be doing a lot more, as there has been a decent amount of exploits being taken advantage of over on the Prism vs. Clash scenarios. Not going to go any specifics there as to promote those, but if you've been playing and you know of them, there's a ton of them, and there's a bunch of people doing different things. Hopefully those are eventually taken care of, and we kind of get a nice fair play with this. Especially after this scenario is done, more than likely they'll patch up all this stuff, so for next time when we do get a new PvP or a new Prism vs. Clash scenario, all those exploits will be taken care of and they won't be in place. As of right now, there's a lot of unfair stuff, so hopefully they do address that sometime soon. Jumping over to our last minute mentionables. First up here, the mobile technical test is ending very soon. That's happening on October 3rd, 3 PDT. They never list if it's AM or PM, but sometime on October 3rd, either 3 AM PDT or 3 PM PDT, the mobile technical test will be ending. I've played this a little bit on my phone. It's actually pretty cool that it even runs on mine. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, for those that are curious, and it runs really well, and you can even turn down the graphics or raise them up. I'm surprised at how well it looks and how well it runs. So eventually we might be getting a lot of new players from the mobile platform. Still think it's kind of cool to have it running on mobile, although there's probably going to be some disparity there, of course, unless you're maybe using a third-party controller with it. But yeah, I think it's good to like maybe tend to your garden if you're out and about. I kind of like it being able to just like do that stuff. Nothing in combat, although the combat actually feels fairly fine. Not too sure how it would work in PvP as I didn't engage much in that. But everything else felt really good, and I'll definitely like it for tending to my garden and at least kind of making my plants and replanting stuff. So I think for that sort of thing, it's going to be really good. We also have this community post here labeled "They Fixed It." People have been really critical of the new cosmetics, or at least the cosmetic loot crate. Now, this is not the ones that you spend money on. These are the ones that you earn either at the end of Prism vs. Clash, you'll get a bunch of crates for them, or you actually do spend Mitsuko marks. And essentially, this is the way to get the faction gear. You can actually get both faction gear pieces, so you really shouldn't pick or select your faction for the gear. So do not make your choice on which faction to pick on if it's just for the faction gear, as you can actually earn both from these crates. And the winning team, I believe, gets 9, and the losing team or losing faction gets 6 or 7. So you will get a ton of these, and you can earn both of those faction sets. However, this used to cost 3,000, and now it costs 2,700. They have removed the cosmetic tokens. Again, people are still very critical as they wanted it lowered down to maybe like 300 marks. I'm not really a fan of either of the cosmetics here, so this doesn't really bother me, but I could see why this would cost way too much, as I only have around 5,000 Mitsuko marks, so the fact that it's already 3,000 or 2,700, that just seems insanely priced. Hopefully they do bring those down, maybe refund some people. Yeah, I'm not really sure why these cost so much, but again, they really do want you to play the new scenario, it seems like, as that's where you're going to get the most amount of crates. I'm not huge on these cosmetics overall, to be honest with you. Doesn't affect me too much, but I completely understand the criticism there. Also, to squeeze in this last minute mentionable here, this actually just got posted as soon as I was recording this video, so I figured I would include it. But it's a small giveaway, and it's fairly easy to take part in. So essentially, it's a photo contest where you just share your best photo on X. You don't have to actually reply to this tweet, at least I don't list that on how to participate. You just have to post with these 2 hashtags. which are hashtag once human and hashtag photographers. And the rewards for that are a $10 Steam gift card. That's going to be ending October 7th. So a little bit of a giveaway there if you still want to enter for that. I also do want to include this very quickly. We did get some brand new servers opening. Nothing too crazy there, but if you did want to sign up for the new Prism vs. Clash, there are some brand new servers opening on all regions. Overall, it should about cover today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce!